Good afternoon, friends. It's nice to be with you again. Not too far back, I talked to you about a time in my life when that was greatly enjoyable. When I was in the role of a hands-on father, raising my biological sons and participating in the raising of my sister Joan's children, my niece and nephew. Mama Mel was greatly taken with that discussion, but gently reminded me that there was another time in my life when I played a somewhat similar but distinctively different role, and that's my role as a stepfather to her children. And I realized that what I might have lost when custody of my sons was removed to the East Coast, that at a later time I was rewarded with four of the most magnificent young people. My best recollection of their ages and their marital status at that time is a little fuzzy, but I do know that the last born of the four, our daughter Lucy, that she had just graduated from college. And I had met the children's mother in January of 1985, and apparently had shown a lot of concern about whether those children would like me, because here I was coming into their life and they were all young adults. A couple of them might have been married then, maybe even had their own children. So I kind of got launched on this new adventure of having four more children who were all young adults. They were capable of evaluating situations and circumstances, and I wasn't sure how they were going to feel about me. But I jumped into it, and Lucy provided me with an opportunity that I really had never had, and that was being a father, albeit a stepfather, to a female, to a daughter. And I didn't exactly know what I was supposed to do or how I was supposed to do it. But she had a good sense of humor, still is, incredibly good looking, built beyond belief, and she could be wonderfully funny. And my most memorable adventure with Lucy came at a time when my relationship with Mama Mel had reached the peak of intimacy. And one evening, when I was spending the night with Mama Mel, I felt the urge for something cold to drink. And so, without any clothing, I walked into the kitchen. And as I recall, at the home in Woodside, there were two swinging doors that came into the kitchen. And as I came into the kitchen in the buff, through the other swinging door in the buff comes my stepdaughter. Well, we took a look at each other. We're definitely each impressed, frightfully embarrassed, and said good evening. And I decided I wasn't that thirsty after all. And I returned to the master bedroom, humiliated, but very well educated. So that's my daughter. Then the next uh, eldest is my stepson, Stephen. Stephen, the videographer. Stephen, a man, even as a young man, who had and still possesses the world's greatest laugh. He cannot ignore humor. He cannot avoid identifying things that strike him and generally those around him as being funny. He's able to point out the joy of a situation. He is such a fun person. Extraordinarily enjoyable. And I did get to know his two sons, particularly when they were young. And as they've gone off to universities, they've gotten distant, and I don't see them as much as I did before. But they are, as one would say in the trade, chips off the old block. They are a delight, a delight. Next in line is my stepson, Jeffrey. Mel's Jeffrey spells his name Geoffrey. My biological son, Jeffrey, amazingly, spells his name the same way. Jeffrey has struggled in life, but is a human with disease, with illness. But he is surprisingly easy for me to get close to talk to, and to visit with. And he is, I guess, from what I hear from his mother, that through family inheritance, he has enough money to let himself live in extreme comfort. But he absolutely refuses to do so. He is penurious beyond belief. He would rather walk 2 miles to a hospital or to a restaurant than pay 25 cents to ride on a bus. He feels that is a waste of money. He is able to endure discomfort beyond belief. If he's in pain, you're never going to get him to tell you that. He won't show it. You'll have a hard time finding it. He is just resolute in living his life the way he wants to live it. And he's such a great delight. And I look forward with the passing, I hope, of the pandemic, that family gatherings, or gatherings at least of more than 4 people sort of thing, will return, and I'll be able to spend more time visiting with Jeff. He adores Hawaii. I do too. And we talk a lot about, I've been to Maui and to the main, to where Pearl Harbor is. And I've been to another island that's famous for its hotels. My inability to remember the name of the islands is a result of my aging mind. But we talk a great deal about what he likes about each island, what he finds the most enjoyable, where the best walk is, and a fabulous human being. And then we come to the top of the ladder in terms of age and facial hair. John Douglas Hessel, firstborn, Doug, I've gotten to know the best, the closest, or the most, because his mother and I have lived in communities in which he and I suppose Lucy and Jeff were much closer than Stephen, who was in San Francisco or was in Marin County and now is in Santa Barbara County. But so I've gotten to know Doug and his wife Terry, gotten to know their children. And Doug now lives in Aptos, which is about a 45-minute drive from where we are. And he will show up announced and sometimes unannounced just to make sure that we're okay. He is at the moment, I think, returning from a week-long deep sea fishing trip. He's a great fly fisherman, but I don't believe has any burning interest in deep sea fishing. Something that probably my attitude would be the same. I like the fly fishing, but not rolling around on a boat hauling in 100-pound fishes. It doesn't knock me off. And he took this trip because apparently his late father did this for almost 40 years. And this particular boat and the areas where it fishes were where his father enjoyed fishing. And so he took some of his father's ashes to scatter in memory of his father and to let the fish know that John Sr. was keeping an eye on him. So here I get starting in 1985. Meryl and I were married in 2003. I get to spend all this time from time to time growing older with Mel's children, who are just total, complete delights. They bring so much joy into our family, to the small family, and of course to the expanded Hessel family. So I wanted to acknowledge that these four people, these four young adults who are now getting close enough to probably join AARP, that they have created an environment for me in which to grow old that has just been absolutely delightful. And I want to be on record as saying how much I have appreciated the welcome that they extended to me, the affection that they have bathed me with, the love that they have poured in my direction. And I want them to know that it's coming right back at them. That's my story, and I'm never, ever going to change it. Take care.